Despite limping their way through the NBA's regular season, the Los Angeles Lakers still racked up the league's best record. Now the Magic Man is once again creating havoc with his uncanny passing. And the ageless big fella, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, is still going strong at 41 as the Lakers hit full stride in defense of their NBA crown. A year ago, Pat Riley guaranteed a second straight world championship. Now the Lakers have their eyes fixed on NBA gold. Today, they take the second step towards the title. Welcome, everybody, to the House of Champions as CBS Sports continues its coverage of the 1988 NBA playoffs. The Los Angeles Lakers trying to become the first team since the Celtics of the late 60s to win back-to-back championships. And today they'll start their second round against the Utah Jazz. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brent Musburger. Take a look at the brackets now. This is the upper series in the West. If the Lakers win here, and this is the first time they've ever met Utah in the NBA playoffs, they would play the winner of the Denver-Dallas series, which begins Tuesday night in Denver. And it's my pleasure to welcome the most popular broadcaster in the city of Los Angeles, my close friend, Tommy Heinsohn. Tommy, give me a status on the Lakers.
There's no doubt that the Lakers on paper are the best team in the NBA. The question is, with all the injuries they've had to key players, can they put what is on paper on the basketball court? They claim that those injured players, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Michael Cooper, are 100%.
Yeah, you know, Tommy, what about the Jazz? It's a tough turnaround.
A big emotional turnaround, and that's what's so important in a playoff game. To bounce back from a big win, hit the floor, come back, and meet the challenge of the champs who have been sitting here waiting for them for 5 days.
All right, so the crowd is ready here on this Mother's Day. It's the first game. The Jazz and the Lakers coming your way on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1988 NBA playoffs is sponsored by new Armor All Car Wax. It shines and protects but won't scratch. Chrysler. Chrysler believes a luxury car should be a great driving car. At Chrysler, we're driving to be the best. And by Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers.
Here you see the starting lineups now for game one. The Lakers so familiar. The Jazz will go with Malone, Ivorone, Eaton, Stockton, and Hanson. We're ready to go. Jack Madden will toss it up. It'll be Eaton and Abdul-Jabbar. Tap is controlled by the Jazz. Malone saves it. And this is Stockton, Tommy Heinsohn. He has had a fabulous year, breaking the NBA assist record.
Well, I expect the Jazz and the Lakers to rather until they try and tire each other out, and they're huffing and puffing. But this game probably will revolve around whose half-court offense is better.
8 seconds on the shot clock here. Stockton spins on Scott. Comes up with the first shot. And it'll be the Lakers' ball. Didn't hit anything, and that's why you heard the shot clock go off. Now the first possession for the champions.
And the Lakers like to fast break early, get the pace of the game the way they like it. They come out sprinting, and Magic Johnson, who perhaps is not 100%, his timing has been affected in those sharp, crisp passes that are so important in a fast break offense.
Worthy with the ball out of bounds into Scott's hands, and Stockton knocked it away off Scott and goes over to the Jazz. Young man out of Gonzaga. I guess he is their most famous alum since the legendary Bing Crosby came from that school.
Well, he's been making the basketball sing.
You bet. A mini Magic, if you will. Here, monster Tommy Malone missing his first shot. Eaton trying to keep it in play with that great reach of his, but he lost control. 7-4, played collegiately out in Westwood at UCLA.
Utah has what they call one of the most efficient defenses in the NBA. They've got that man guarding Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I call him the human detour. He detours everything going to the basket. Now what they're trying to do right now, Brent, is work Mark Eaton to perhaps get him in foul trouble, because they really don't have a capable backup man defensively at that position.
Worthy up with the jump shot, missing, gets his own rebound, and then on the drive scores.
Utah ready to push it right down the throats of L.A. if they're not ready. Stockton with great speed up the court.
Foul down away from the ball on the inside. That last call at the other end was an illegal defense. They had Eaton in the middle playing illegally. And on the second, of course, they would shoot the technical free throw.
The inside game of Utah is really mostly Karl Malone.
Hansen, stop from penetrating. On the turnover, it's Scott. Drive. Tap by Rambis. Controlled Malone. Into Stockton's hands, and Magic forced the travel. He made the call himself.
Well, everybody on Utah is ready to get the outlet pass to John Stockton, and Magic was just sitting there waiting. And Stockton really didn't have a chance to do anything but travel.
Johnson left alone, short on the shot, but it's Worthy with a rebound, and Rambis.
Utah is so ready to take off on their own fast break. Sometimes they forget to block people out on the board.
Lakers lead it 4-0 here in the early minutes of this first period. Hansen. Abdul-Jabbar's rebound, and here's Johnson. Scott looks inside to Johnson. And the Jazz force a turnover, but they give it right back. Here's Worthy.
You can see the Lakers already keying on any outlet pass going to Stockton. They're alert to where he is on the court. They're stepping in to pick off the outlet pass.
Frank Layden uses an early timeout. He's fallen back by 6. 9 minutes, first period. Tommy, we've become familiar with these early bursts by the Lakers.
Yeah, they like to get it going, but right here you're going to see Bobby Hansen, who's supposed to go out and block James Worthy. Instead, he's thinking offense. He backs off to be an outlet man to start their fast break, and the next thing you know, Worthy is in there for the rebound. And you don't fast break unless you get the defensive glass, and Worthy very alert to go into the boards, and offensive rebounding has been hurting Utah even in the prior series.
4 of the Lakers' 6 rebounds have been offensive here, and the Jazz with only 1 rebound. Despite Eaton's size and Malone's strength, the Jazz weakness inside, a lack of rebounding muscle, as now the illegal defense is called the other way, so we're all even now, and we can go from there. During the season, the Lakers beat the Jazz the first 4 times they played, and then Frank Layden and Utah came from behind to win the 5th game. That was in Salt Lake. The Lakers force a turnover, and here's Worthy. Loses control and gets it back.
Are the Lakers ready to really get it up and run on that break?
Kareem traveled, but there was a foul before that. And it's against Hansen, his first, with one of the better 6th men. In fact, some say the best 6th man in the NBA. Thurl Bailey, number 41, checking into the game, and Ivoroni sits. Bailey provides some instant offense. He lit the Lakers up for 33 in an earlier game. And Worthy at the top of the key misses. And the Lakers hustle to the corner to save it. The 3 is short, and another rebound by the Lakers. And Scott is off, and still Kareem pounds the offensive glass.
There's no question that the defensive rebounding of the Jazz right now is killing them. They're giving up too many shots. The guards are not blocking out.
Shutout so far, and Bailey gets the Jazz on the scoreboard. Long pass broken up into the hands of Stockton. So Bailey contributes offensive and defensively. Now Malone hammers the tap. Ball came back with it, and he was fouled.
John Stockton, once the ball does get in his hands, he is, as you said before, a second Magic Johnson. He's one of the real good decision makers in the middle of the court for a fast break team.
So we've had 2 no-hitters broken up in the 9th inning. Cincinnati's Robinson had one going earlier this year, and today Drebeck loses one of the ninth for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Stockton, a miss. They get only one shot as Scott comes out. Keeps on going, and Bailey fouled him.
Now, one of the things that you have to do against Utah is attack the basket before the human detour gets up there and in that middle. With that 7'4" frame of his and those long arms, he really makes you angle off the hoop. And so far, the Lakers have been able to successfully get it up before Eaton gets in place.
Tommy, Coach Layden told us yesterday that he would like to get out of game one with dignity. He's down 9-2, and he'll have to hustle now to save something.
Well, I think he recognizes how difficult it is to make an emotional turnaround, and he wants his team to come in here and have at least a good showing so that they can go back to Utah. Playing the champs on their home court is always tough.
Hansen into the hands of Malone as the crowd thought he traveled. The difference has been on the glass, as you can see.
The key matchup for the Lakers to solve is that man right there, Karl Malone.
Forces the shot. He did not play well in the opener against Portland. Hansen underneath, though, gets an offensive rebound and a field goal, and then Malone came on like a monster in the last three against the Blazers. Here's Worthy. Quickly they move it to Scott, and he hits the jump shot.
The Lakers spread the court probably as the best in the NBA, and they'll move the ball around the horn, and that gets that Utah defense rotating, and Scott can kill you from the outside.
Lakers are leading it 12-4 in the early going with a left-handed hook, and Rambis off with the rebound.
There have been no easy shot attempts so far for the Jazz.
Kareem faces up on Eaton, and now he comes into the paint area. Did he get the roll? Yes.
The more this game turns to a half-court game, that man right there is going to be so important, and that's one of the question marks everybody has. How many consistent games can he give you in these playoffs?
6:19 to go. Lakers 14, Jazz 4. Pat, so not a happy Mother's Day there in the ninth inning for Mrs. Drayback. And here, well, some of the Jazz wives and mothers are probably a little antsy right now. Coach Frank Layden's lovely wife, Barbara, down here with him watching this action as they upset the Portland Trailblazers, and now they've got their hands full with 2 games here in the Forum. They'll come back Tuesday night, then they'll move up to the Salt Palace later in the week. Game 4 next weekend. Eaton has it knocked away, but hustling after it is Bailey, and sticking with him is Magic. Great defensive play by the leader of the Lakers.
And pulls it out and sets up their half-court offense. I mean, he barks out the signals like a quarterback in football.
Inside is Scott, but that pull-up jumper was short. Eaton rebounding.
That's a tough matchup for John Stockton because Scott has got the athletic ability over John Stockton.
Another turnover. That is 6 by Utah in the early going. This arena has been a nightmare through the years for the Jazz. As New Orleans and Utah Jazz, they are 2-30 in the Forum. That is the poorest performance by any team in the NBA down here in Inglewood. A 3, and the captain missed everything.
Well, they funneled everybody out, and they were forced to take a long shot before the 24-second clock would go off. That was the best defensive stance so far by Utah.
Malone penetrates, and Kareem rejected it. Put it on the floor. 41 and going strong. Scott's 3. Bailey rebounding. It's 14-4, still a 10-point Laker lead here inside of 5 minutes in the opening period. And the mailman trying to deliver, couldn't. Worthy off with the rebound.
He had a look over his shoulder at the other human detour, Kareem.
Now Kareem down inside. Off the double, sends it back to Johnson, and then gets it in return. Now he's all alone on Eaton. Moves to the glass, can't get the roll, and there was a pushing foul underneath. It was pushed out of the way, and the foul is on the Lakers. That's 3 on Rambis here in the first period. the most positive statistic as far as the Jazz are concerned in this game so far. However, here comes Michael Thompson. And speaking of 6 men in the league, as Kareem sits down, Thompson was a standout.
And he will have a quickness advantage over Mark Eaton, so that ought to enhance the fast break opportunities for the Lakers.
And right away, Thompson contributes a rebound. AC Green is out here with Worthy on the break. Scott, score it, Lakers. It is 16-4. Scott with 6 points.
And Utah has not been able whatsoever to get back quickly or even get in Magic's path to make those, to stop him making those good passes up the court.
Jazz only 2 of 13 from the floor in this first game. Stockton penetrates short, yanked off by Thompson. Now Green, here's Scott again, and this time Stockton with a big play, but AC Green hustles it down. The Lakers are a little quicker, a little more rested. They're getting to the loose balls. Running hook. Inside as they await the rebound. The foul will go against Los Angeles.
And Hansen just funneled Magic into Mark Eaton, and Magic had to take one of those 6-foot more difficult shots, little half hook, and Eaton with his long arms really intimidated him a little bit.
First foul by Thompson, the 4th team foul on the Lakers.
Utah has not been able to get the mailman off in this ball game. He's been a monster part of their offense.
So Eaton does it himself. His first field goal. Yeah, Malone is scoreless here so far. Bailey with 2, Hansen with 2, Eaton with 2, and that's it for the Jazz. Handed by Johnson. That's his first field goal.
What a weapon when you put Magic Johnson in the low post against the guard. Bobby Hansen will not be able to handle that job.
Now Eaton standing on the outside. Stockton missing. 1 shot for Utah off of that set. Worthy operating on Bailey, gives it up to Thompson, but he traveled. That's the 4th Los Angeles turnover, 6 by Utah.
When you play Utah, what you have to be prepared to do when you penetrate, get funneled into Eaton, is look for an open man. His man is usually wide open, and Thompson makes a great target because he's got good catching hands.
2 minutes to go. It's 18-6 Lakers. 6 points in the first period by the Jazz so far, and none for that man, Malone. Ricky Green, he fires up a miss. He's got a lid on it down there, that hoop, Tommy. Scott is short, spins, down at Eaton's feet.
Just not able to get the Lakers off the offensive glass.
Off a fake, Worthy gets the roll, and that is 6 for James Worthy.
Well, it doesn't look like that tendonitis in the knee is troubling him in this game. He's been out on the front end of fast breaks.
Malone bangs in and commits an offensive foul, his first. So here at the Forum in Inglewood, California, along with Tommy Heinsohn, I'm Brent Musburger. So far, the defending NBA champions have had everything their own way, and they lead the Jazz 20-6. Karl Malone is scoreless, and he is the main man for the Jazz. Number 32, defensively now, as Worthy off a spin comes inside, and that's 8 for Worthy, the leading scorer for the Lakers.
The Lakers have so many offensive options. Kareem in the low post, Thompson in a low post, and James Worthy anywhere from 18 feet in.
Malone 0 for 6. Stockton 0 for 4. And Bailey bangs in his second field goal since coming off the bench.
Jazz are just trying to find a hot hand right now and get their offense in gear.
Time counting down here in the opening period. It's a long way back, Tommy, against the Lakers when they start like this.
All right, now they're totally backing off James Worthy as a concession to his quickness. They don't want him to get beaten on the drive. That's happened twice already, and they're going to take an extra step back off of him.
Now, this will be the fewest points scored quarter of an NBA playoff game. It was 12. And Frank Layden's Utah Jazz is able to break it. They could score no more than 8.
There's no dignity in what they're doing right now, and it's been a good shock for them, and they may climb back. Now, Layden in that timeout would have had to say, hey, guys, let's just get back to playing our game. Get the ball inside. Don't be afraid. We're down now. If we get beat by 30, so what? Let's just play hard.
Now, Bart Kofod checks in for the first time. He is number 11. Played at Kearney State after coming there from a junior college. Those of you in the Salt Lake area are familiar with his contributions during the Portland series. Jazz uncovered him in the NAIA tournament. And he has been a contributor, but it's a very small backcourt now with Kofod and Stockton out there. Ivaroni, Eaton, and Bailey up front as Malone, who was scoreless in the first period, is over on Coach Layden's bench. Scott off the fake. And Eaton rebounding, and this is Stockton.
Now, that was the second-best defensive stance they've had so far in this ball game, the Jazz.
Bailey's missed Ivaroni underneath, but the foul goes against Mark. He pushed off to clear the way.
There is no real offensive player on the court right now other than Bailey. Stockton, they're playing him for the pass on his penetration, so he's going to have to pull up and shoot some shots. They have nobody really with a hot hand to go to get some momentum back.
Thompson rolling toward the basket, and Scott thought he would stay over there in the corner. On the floor now, Green, Scott, Cooper, Thompson, and Worthy for the champions. Abdul-Jabbar sits. Pat Riley has reduced his minutes this year wisely with the playoffs coming up. Now he can rest today as Bailey is the scoring leader for the Jazz off the bench with 6 points here. And Cooper collides with Stockton. And Stockton commits his first personal. 24-10, the champions are leading the Jazz. Game 2 is Tuesday night. And of course, in a 7-game series, it's still a long way to number 4, and coaches always build off the fact you want to win one of the first 2 on the enemy's court. That time, Worthy was fouled by Bailey, and it's 2 personals on Thurl Bailey.
Well, Thurl Bailey has quickness to potentially stay with James Worthy, and Frank Layden is hoping that Eaton can get down and cut off those type of penetration moves, but he has not been able to do so far.
Ivaroni into the hands of Stockton. Now it's Bailey on the move, and Worthy sticking right with him, but he fouled him.
John Stockton really reads defenses beautifully, and Bailey is a flyer. He can get up the court quickly, fill the lane, and he's a strong finisher. And he also has the possibility on a fast break and the skill to stay in the corner and hit the outside shot.
Abdul-Jabbar has returned, and so too has Johnson for the Lakers.
You know, Thurl Bailey is a perplexing player for Pat Riley. He considers him one of the tougher people for him to try to defend, because he is an inside threat, an outside threat, a running threat, and he can really play some decent defense when he goes up and starts challenging people.
It's 24-12 after those free throws for Bailey, 8 points. And of course, the Jazz hopeful that Malone can turn his game around when he comes back in.
Eaton is playing him on the baseline side, trying to take away the hook shot and get him to spin back into the middle to help.
He did, and there was a foul committed by Ivaroni, his second.
That's a beautiful way to try and play Kareem. It forces him to put the ball on the floor and exert some energy. And that's what you're trying to do, perhaps, against the 41-year-old guy, is make him use up an awful lot of energy.
41 years old.
That's unbelievable to me.
He'll go one more year after this one. He signed a 2-year contract. There is Mr. Playoff Statistics, if you will. It must be an earlier photo. He's got a little more hair.
What I've always admired about Kareem is that he is a competitor. He's taken some hard shots. People have tried to out-physical him. He's responded to that with intelligence, making great passes. But boy, does he look to make the big shot at the right time. He loves to do that.
Bailey. Boy, he's getting it done for him offensively. That's 10 points for Thurl Bailey. No, but thank you very much. Here at courtside, somebody just offering us some popcorn.
Did you check it out through the metal
you know, if you try that popcorn when you're in the middle of announcing, the stuff gets in your teeth. You know what I mean, big fella? We got a timeout. It's 26-14. All Lakers so far. 9:47 here. It's 26-14. Well, I think the key thing is to get Malone back into this game. Forget about back into it.
You know, if you don't think about a team for, you know, you're thinking about another ball club. Now you have to readjust, think out the style, how you're going to do it, pump your emotions up, and that's where Malone, I think, is not with it right now. In fact, the whole Utah Jazz team, but they're starting to get their heads back into it.
Except Bailey. Bailey contributed, Tommy, I might say, right off the bench.
Well, he's renowned for that, and quick off the hoop.
He scored 11 points already. Green up over him that time as Bailey was dashing around the floor trying to help out. So it's 28 now to 15.
Well, if they can get it down to 10 points at the end of the half, this can still be a basketball game. But they've got to get a rhythm to their offense and find a hot hand.
It's not from Kofod right now, and Green with it. Off Thompson, out of bounds. Utah's ball.
You know, and when you break out to an early lead after a 5-day rest, sometimes you take a little bit too much for granted and you let down. And that's when the Jazz might be able to put their foot on the pedal and get back into it.
An awful lot of talent, though, on that Laker bench, Tommy. They're so deep. You know, it's real tough to dig uphill. Battle back against this bunch. Knocked out of bounds, but Utah's ball.
Exceptional defense that time by A.C. Green. He comes off the bench, and I think he's going to be an important player in this series. He's the only guy, I think, in that front court that has the speed to stay with Karl Malone on a fast break.
The winner of that Detroit-Washington series will take on Chicago in the semi-final round of the Eastern Conference. In case you did not hear, the Bulls beat Cleveland in a decisive fifth game earlier this afternoon in the Chicago Stadium. Michael Jordan prevailing. Scottie Pippen turning in some good moments for the Bulls. Here, 7, through for the layup.
Everybody got down in the paint with a purple jersey, and Magic just found the guy that was the openest.
30-15, 15-point lead. Bailey is 4 of 6 from the floor, and the rest of the Jazz 2 of 17 in this game. It's been a one-man show. Maroney gives it up. Kofod with the 3 is short, right into Kareem's hands. Cooper and Magic try to get the break going, and Stockton coming back, and the foul will go against the Jazz.
I'll tell you, Ivoroni is hustling his butt off here. He just ran right up and got back into the passing lane.
Foul is on Ivoroni.
Yeah, I know, but boy, that was pure hustle. That's what they need right now. His head is into it. You can't be passive when you play the Lakers. You got to be very aggressive, and they're just not really into this thing, the Jazz. They don't really have a play pattern right now. They have confidence in.
The crowd right now is pulling quietly for the Jazz to come back. I mean, they want the Lakers to win, but they want a contest. They'd like to see a run here by the men in purple.
Well, you know, the Lakers swept San Antonio, and there were some people here that were unhappy in L.A. even after the sweep. It wasn't a 10 in their estimation.
Come on, let's get Malone into it, and Stockton. Stockton hits a layup. That's it, Frank. Hit the whip hand on these guys. Let's get them back in there. All right, Eaton out with the rebound. Excuse me for cheering, but I want a contest, too, for a while. Here we go. Bailey through. All right, Tommy, here we go.
Well, when they get theirs going, they've got some speed in that lineup at the forward spot, so they'll put three at you fast.
Uh-oh. Kareem. High percentage shot.
Right. The Jazz trying to confuse the Lakers a little bit with a trap defense. No way. They're too smart for that.
Time remaining first half. Pat O'Brien will fill you in on the Detroit-Washington game. Last check, the Pistons had the lead there in number 5. And a foul is called. No, we got an illegal defense. That's what we got. And that's the second one. It'll go against Los Angeles. AC Green. So we're going to have some shooting. That's the second one.
Legends of the NBA. The smooth touch makes it count. Sponsored by Schick. Walt Frazier could always supply a bit of cool whenever a game reached a fevered pitch. He'd often lay low, only to deliver the big play when most desperately needed. From steals to driving layups, Clyde made difficult plays look easy. As the man the Knicks often looked to in the clutch, Walt Frazier usually delivered with style.
He shipped his money to Louisville. He said, I knew it was going to pay more back there. And it did. About $8, I think, Winning Colors paid at Churchill Downs. Stockton now will shoot the free throw. Follow up on that, it was only even money out here at the Hollywood Park because the bettors sentimentally were behind the California entry. Fold in the great state of Kentucky, but now quartered out here and owned by Gene Klein. Down the road at Rancho Santa Fe, he has really become a force in thoroughbred racing since selling San Diego Chargers. Well, let's see if the Jazz can get back in it. Not that way they won't. Another turnover.
They've got to get Karl Malone untracked. And he usually makes a quick move off the catch, and they're having trouble even feeding him the ball right now.
See, took it down, and then he came back up with the score. It didn't matter.
Well, he was not at the peak of his jump when he caught the ball. That's why he had to bring it down.
Fewest points in a half of an NBA playoff game, 28. The Jazz sitting on 20. They already broke the record for the opening quarter, or for any quarter, if you will, when they scored only 8. Eaton's left-handed hook roll in there. And it is 32. Tommy, they got it down to 14 now. And
Eaton might not be a bad man to go to, even though he's not known as a great scorer. Kareem is going to give him position wherever he wants to go.
Thompson.
Kareem is up below, outside the three-point line, so that makes Eaton get above the foul line on defense, and they're trying to play clear out because up their offensive end of the court.
Kareem just muscled Hansen right out of that paint. Now he's leaning on Eaton. Mark ships it outside. Stockton short, run down by Thurl Bailey, and Stockton penetrates. Dishes, Eaton. Knocked away. Stolen ball by Los Angeles. Here's Johnson. Green.
Off of steals, the Lakers really step out.
That's a great basketball team. Solid chance to repeat this year. No matter who comes out of the East, you've got to make the Lakers a big favorite out here in the West. Another turnover. That is 10 by the Jazz in the first half.
They're just so jittery. They can't even feed the low post.
They're shooting layups now against this defense. That moment I spoke about. Watch what happens to Hansen, who finds himself down there in the low post. I mean, Kareem has taken on both of them. First, he gets Hansen out of the way.
What they try to do is pick a man, a big man, to the low post so he doesn't have to fight for position. But when you lay a pick on Kareem, you better bring a hammer with you.
Frank Layden will use a timeout here, trailing 43-22. That is the third personal on Bailey. We'll be right back. Seeing our action here this afternoon along the line, and Frank and Mrs. Tripucka, we certainly send along our best along with your son. He was, as you can imagine, quite upset, but he decided to stay and come down here with the team, and he has played well through the years against the Lakers, and since Layden needs some firepower, maybe we'll see him in this game before it's over, Tommy Heinsohn.
He said he might play him. He's been one of those enigmas for a lot of people. He's always been a forward with Detroit, and Layden wants him to play the big guard spot. And he did for a portion of the season, and did fairly well.
Well, let's set the lineups. You saw some subs come on the floor. It's Bailey who has really carried the load. Now Malone with an offensive rebound, and that for Karl Malone, his first field goal. It's at the 4-minute mark here of the first half. 43-24. So if anything has kept the Jazz from staying competitive, it's the fact that Malone has not contributed. But keep in mind that he is sometimes much better in the second half than in the first. He's a stretch and a money player, something they can build on. But against this team, it might not matter. As Kareem rolls in a hook, he's got 10 here in the first half, and they have played like champions.
One of the tough things playing the Lakers, you cannot let them get off to a quick start. Better you should try and get them to chase you. That's easier said than done, of course. But once you're behind them, Magic just takes control, and on any kind of gambling defense, you'll find the open man, and you usually pay a heavy price for gambling.
That's Hampton's second foul. Bailey, who you saw a moment ago, roll in that layup. He has scored 15 of the Jazz 26 points since coming off the bench. 3:23 to go. Magic up at the line. He has scored 7, make it 8 now on that free throw. He is so good that I think we take him for granted. That goes with Larry Bird. Michael Jordan probably not. He's a little more spectacular at the scoring end. But Magic and Bird have meant so much to this league since they both came in out of college and playing in that great NCAA championship game, which Magic won.
I don't bestow this title on, or this phrase on very many people. Magic is a creator, and that's the ultimate compliment as far as a basketball player, as far as I'm concerned, because he makes defenses move. He creates things for us.
Now Mel Turpin follows up on a Malone miss. So he is on the scoreboard off of Coach Layden's bench, and it's 47-28.
Frank Layden put him on a diet, you know.
What do you mean? Diet? What happened?
They tried to get him to lose weight. Instead, he gained 30 pounds.
Well, he never got off his diet.
That's it. I wonder what kind of diet Layden put him on.
Probably the one that he follows, as Worthy comes through, and it's 12 for Worthy here in the first half.
Don't miss a single Whopper. That's the diet that Frank Layden was on.
Hanson missing. What is it they say? The coach says, I will never be the cover boy for the Pritkin Institute. What a character Frank Layden is. But despite that, he's a good basketball man. Or in addition to that, perhaps I should say. And I'm sure he is agonizing over this start by the Jazz here against the champions. Quick turn by Worthy. Too much quickness out there. Abdul-Jabbar following up with 12.
And Kareem has hardly broken a sweat.
Their biggest lead, 51-28, inside of 2 minutes.
Byron Scott has done an exceptionally fine job on John Stockton, cutting down on his penetration.
Turpin got a hand on it, and Stockton's got the loose ball to pull up a jump shot, and he is off his game here. Fouls. Select the Miller Lite player of the game. There's a lot of Lakers who are candidates for that right now, including Scott. Missed that 3, but A.C. Green was right there, and that's 8 for Green off Riley's bench.
Nobody blocks anybody out with a yellow jersey. I mean, the Jazz have got to put some bodies on people on that offensive glass.
Johnson missing, another rebound. Rebounding edge now is 27-14. Magic get something up in the face?
Something happened.
Yeah, there'll be a 20-second timeout here by Riley. And Magic a little bit shaken up.
Now, looking at his face, now he has an injury that bothered him, a groin pull, plus a knee problem. Let's take a look at what might have happened here. And Green just kind of banged him in the face.
It's getting kind of tough out there when your own teammates.
Well, he's so important in that department. Very few teams have a guard that can rebound as effectively as Magic does. And when he rebounds, the ball is in the hands of your middleman, and that immediately starts your fast break.
You know, Tommy, I was reading in the paper that Olympic coach John Thompson is furious that the Portland Trailblazers are helping injured Soviet basketball star Sabonis get back into shape and ready for the Korean Games. I'll tell you something. Thompson should not worry. That's the team which rehabbed Bill Walton. Everything's okay, John. Here's Scott. Off the plate, coming to the glass.
Without Eaton, that funnel defense is really funneling it right to the basket for 2 points.
Stockton. Boy, he has had a struggle here, hasn't he? So we've come to the end of the first half. The Lakers 55, the Jazz 31. Pat O'Brien is back right after this message. .55, the Jazz 31. Pat O'Brien is back right after this message. Now, one of the things, let me say about, there's been a lot of front runners come out in the...
used to be a monk for him.
But I want to tell you that Walter Matthau was a fan right through some of the lean years here. He would come every night. He has been a loyal Laker fan. So, too, for that matter, has Jack Nicholson. I don't want anybody to infer from that. We're putting him down. But they have been great fans. Magic Johnson on the floor along with Rambis, Scott, Abdul-Jabbar, and Worthy. They started off against Malone and Eaton. Stockton, Bailey, the sixth man, starts out there along with Hansen. So the starting fives for the second half. Abdul-Jabbar misses the rolling hook, but the Lakers get a second chance. And there is Scott making the Jazz pay.
Again, the offensive rebound, giving him a second opportunity, and that has plagued Utah all season long. And even though they defeated Portland, it was evident they had trouble on the boards against that team.
Biggest lead of the game, 57-31 in the opening moments of the second half. Malone banging in down low, drew the foul.
Scott is so fast that he can challenge the pass into the low post and then get back down and harass Malone. And they are prepared, the Lakers, to surround Karl Malone so that he cannot get into this ballgame.
Little patch there on the left shoulder. That honors the late Pistol Pete Maravich, who, of course, played for the Jazz when they started their franchise down in New Orleans before moving to New Orleans. Died tragically of that heart problem earlier this year. Long pass, quick to Kareem.
Now that ball just about got through the net on the made basket. It was out of bounds and up the court. And boy, your head has to be ready for that type of immediate attack off a made basket.
Short, Magic. Got the runners out in front of him. Sends it back to Scott.
And Byron Scott, who has probably been the most consistent of the Laker players this season. Prior years, he's been a secondary offensive player. Became a prime option this year out of necessity as some of these other players were down with injury.
Yeah, Tommy, there's a good story in the L.A. Times Sunday Magazine this morning about Jerry West as Hansen hits one for the Jazz and what he has contributed to this organization. He's the one who went out on the limb, and they traded Norm Nixon to the Clippers and got the draft rights to Scott. And that was not a popular move at the time. But as Scott now comes along, Jerry West has to like that move even better and better. It's simply because of the chemistry, as was explained, between Scott and Magic. That's what Jerry West, the former great player himself, saw as he watched his coach and then later as general manager.
Well, there's no question that they had 2 point men, Magic and Norm Nixon, and Magic was the better player. And they needed a guy to complement Magic, and Scott is that player. Good outside shooter, strong finisher on the fast break.
We want to warn everybody, not really warn you. Some
Don't
of you are going to
warn
be
me.
happy about this. In a few minutes, we're going to send a lot of you folks to Detroit to join the Washington Bullet Detroit Piston game. And that score, it's a 10-point game there with Detroit ahead. I guess the home court, it held up for Chicago. Had to make the Pistons a favorite in that one, but the Bullets have played well under Wes Unseld.
Well, the Bullets made an emotional turnaround under Wes Unseld and started really playing tough basketball. Detroit, their chemistry was in doubt coming into the playoffs, but they've managed to hang on, and I'm sure they're looking for big things. They want to get back at Boston. You know, talking about pouncing on a team. Playoff experience, the Pistons last year did not pounce on the Celtics. They weren't ready to come at them in the first 2 ball games, that they played the Celtics much like the Lakers are doing right here to Utah. They're not exploiting a good advantage.
Eaton. Stockton. In the corner, Hansen. That's 8 for Hansen. And it's 65-37. Rambis trying to keep it in play.
Magic is the perfect guy to attack a human detour. What appears to be a strength of a defense, Magic will make into a weakness. You go right at Eaton and then make him move, make him commit, and then dish it off.
Hansen.
Well,
Jazz ball.
When you get behind and you become anxious to play well, you start aiming and short-arming every shot. The Jazz not playing free and loose at all here in these early stages of the second half.
Hansen was fouled, and that's Johnson's first personal. Into Hansen in the corner. And the mailman delivered that time. That's 7 points, though, for Malone, far below his average. 65-39. Lakers. Offensive foul is called, and that's 2 quick ones on Johnson.
Well, the detour turned into a roadblock.
We sent many of you to Detroit to join the Washington Bullet Detroit Piston game. Those of you leaving us will be kept up to date on the score here in L.A. And now let's go to Pat O'Brien in Studio 43. And for those of you in Salt Lake and Los Angeles, the Lakers here with a 65-39 count. And inside of 8.5 in the third. And Malone now starting to come alive a little bit.
Well, I think this series is going to turn into a real tough one, particularly when it turns out up in Salt Lake City. And more familiar surroundings will give this young ball club a lot more confidence.
Back to Scott on the turnover again. Here's the steal by Stockton. It's 2-on-1 as Abdul-Jabbar is still there, and Malone will be given the layup by Kareem wisely. No need to take a foul with a score like that, and Kareem showed you a little bit of his NBA experience there. 7:52 to go, 65-43, a timeout. We'll be right back. Well, here the Lakers lead. This is the first of a best of 7. They must win 4 games to advance to the next round, and then they would play the survivor of the Denver-Dallas series. Tommy, any feelings about Denver and Dallas?
Well, Denver is such an upbeat, fast-tempo team that it caused some problems to James Donaldson, who is their human detour, trying to keep people out of the paint, and he may lose 30 pounds before that series is over.
Now, in the East, the Celtics await the winner of tonight's Milwaukee-Atlanta confrontation. Chicago advanced earlier today, beating Cleveland in the stadium, and they will play the winner of the Detroit-Washington series. Detroit was up by 10, I believe, the last time we checked. If it is Detroit and Chicago, the Pistons would have the home court advantage in that series, and next weekend we would be in the Chicago Stadium. That would be for Game 3, probably, of that series, although I certainly haven't seen a schedule on it. Abdul-Jabbar misses on the hook, and Eaton gets it into the hands of Malone, but the Lakers are back defensively, and Stockton cannot penetrate the paint.
The Lakers just getting back so quickly. They are having very, very big problems feeding the ball to Karl Malone in the low post. Even though a foul was called on Kareem that time, every Laker is aware of the passing angle, and they're getting all over John Stockton to cut down on his vision as to where the opening is in the low post.
Tommy, fresh legs here this afternoon, no question about that. And a rebound now by Rambis. Johnson has it rejected by Bailey, but it's out of bounds. Lakers ball.
The Lakers right now, they cruise through this latter part of this second half. They've got to continue to make a statement. They've got to try and beat this team by 30 points, 40 points if they can. That's when it's really going to send a message. and get this Jazz team thinking. And the Jazz, conversely, got to come back and peck away and try and get it down. If they can lose by only 10 points, they'll probably feel a lot better about themselves.
67-43 the count right now. Hansen, he scored 10 for the Jazz. Scott again with that quick release of his. Bailey rebounding. Lead pass to Stockton. Scott will let him have it.
Good outlet pass. Now that's the type of thing that Utah really has been doing well all season long. Rebound, quick outlet pass, and off they go. And Malone is the fastest power forward I've ever seen play in the NBA.
Kareem. And Rambis gets that wraparound.
When the ball starts to penetrate, that turns Utah's defense into a zone defense, and they lose man responsibility. And there's little slits and openings in there that Magic Johnson is just picking apart beautifully.
Abdul-Jabbar winds up with it, and here's the floor leader. Came through with a driving miss that time, but drew the personal foul.
Magic is advancing the ball so quickly that his assigned man, Bobby Hansen, who's supposed to go out and challenge and try and pick him up by half court, is not getting to him until the head of the key. That's an awful lot of ground to give up to Magic. Makes it easier for him to attack the hoop.
Kareem sitting. Thompson has returned for Coach Pat Riley.
You know, the type of injury that Magic has is groin pull. And they seem to have it under control, but it's something that really doesn't go away unless you have about 3 or 4 months off. And that's the real question mark, is will that injury reoccur during really the most competitive time of the season?
Bailey. That's his first field goal here in the second half. He had 15 points in the first half. 71-49 Los Angeles. 5-10. We're in the third. L.A. led this by 28 at one point. Great spinning move, wasn't it, by Worthy?
Worthy has become a finesse player. A little bit of leap left him on that fast break.
Now Malone powers in. Rambis took a shot on that play. He was a little bit slow coming back down. Tommy, take another look at this.
Well, one of the things you want to do is not let Karl Malone get the position. And Karl says, hey, that's my spot.
I'd say.
That's, I'm the delivery man, all right? The mailman, you just hit him with the truck.
Hey, Tommy, if you spent just a couple of weeks with weights, you could have a body like that.
I think so, huh? I know so. But the question is, could you have a body like that?
I could work 2 years on weights and not look like that. What's he want to become, Mr. Olympia someday? Anything he wants.
Well, Frank Layden says, hey, I don't know why he's wasting all his time playing basketball. He should just schedule a fight with Mike Tyson. We'll make all the money and have him buy the team.
He's got the size on Tyson. So Worthy at the free throw line for the Lakers. 4:30 in the third. That's their first miss today from the free throw line. Frank says it's about time they missed something.
You know, he comes up with such great lines. We had a visitor with Frank yesterday, of course. He had us in hysterics for about an hour. But he said, he asked me about my defense and who we're going to guard. He said, we're going to just, whoever plays us, we're going to play them, because after all, Pat Riley's a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah, he said we beat the Lakers when they were without Magic and Cooper and referee Hugh Hollins. I think Hollins was the player of the week 3 times. Magic.
Everybody was worried as to whether Magic would have his split-second timing in shape for this round. It's here.
I'd say. The annual dance for the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Jazz with their heads bowed here and trailing 76-51. Tommy, what about the state of the Lakers in this one?
Well, we're going to watch James Worthy here now. And he supposedly has a bad knee, but moves like this. That's quickness. He just appeared he lost a little bit off his leap on that one. And you see him, well, he's pulling up his knee guard that covers that very inflamed tendon. And here's something that the Jazz will have to get much more of in the next few ball games is good rebounding, quick outlet passes, and then people out on the front end of the fast break like Karl Malone. They only got 2 guys up there against 3 defenders, however, of the Lakers.
Kelly Tripucka has checked in for the Jazz, wearing number 4. So he'll see his first action here. Bailey drops it into Malone on the turnaround.
And Michael Thompson, who is the Lakers' best low post defender at the forward spot, really troubled Malone on that shot. 3 guys are going to try and play defense against Karl Malone. He's going to see an array of guys banging him, running him. And he better be ready for it in game 2.
Malone's second personal foul. Committed it against Thompson. Thompson coming up to the free throw line. What kind of a game has this been? Well, large portion of this audience was switched to the Detroit-Washington game. We kept Salt Lake and Los Angeles, and there were 2 complaint calls from Salt Lake saying, why couldn't we go? That's when you know when you're going bad, folks. When the hometown fans want to clear out. 78-51, 3:15 to go.
Well, Tripucka is in the ball game now, and for the Jazz, and it really might be a good thing to exploit him right now. See what he can do.
Oh, Malone with a nice shot that sequence through the foul, too. 15 points.
Now, Malone, when he's being defended by Michael Thompson, his best move might be to go out on the court and make Thompson bend his knees a little bit and not allow him to play stand-up defense.
12 of Malone's 15 points scored this quarter. You know what this is, Tommy? This is a squeaker game. Listen, just listen.
The sneakers.
And now listen. I can hear a Nike. There's a Converse.
And a Reebok.
And a Reebok. There's Worthy up for the miss. Stockton.
That should be automatic for John Stockton.
Stockton right there. Got the ball back. Coming through for the layup.
Well, they're just playing him full out for the pass. Every time he penetrates, they're jumping away from him and allowing him to go straight to the hoop. If he recognizes that, he could score a couple of 10-point runs against these Lakers until they adjust.
Nice pass. Ivoroni came over and fouled Green, but that was a beautiful pass. That's 4 personals against Ivoroni.
Utah Jazz need a little banging in their lineup, and that's why Ivoroni is in there.
You guys from the Celtics, it's always banging that's going to bring you back in.
Well, you want to establish a physical presence, you know, and you got to do that by slowing people down a little bit. And certainly there wasn't a lot of physical evidence in the first half blocking people out. At least Ivoroni will do that. Block
Give me some
people
shooters.
out.
Give me some scores.
No. You'd be surprised how many games you got 5 scorers on the floor. You don't win. You need some people that know how to rebound and play some defense, too. You only need 2 scorers out on the court at any one time.
Here's Stockton. Oh! And he has not been a scorer, has he, this afternoon? Now Magic. Looks away and then hit Thompson. And look that defense off as he came inside.
He's got that fast break game down to the point where all he has to do is get the lone defender to turn his head one way, and he'll slip it right by his ear. Now, you look underneath as Malone had his attention totally riveted on Magic, and it went right by his ear. I mean, that is class middleman play.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, here's how Thompson has provided more offense in the playoffs. He has played very well in that series against San Antonio and then here today against the Jazz. Comes over defensively, but he was out of bounds.
And a poor pass by Trapuka. He just laid it up there. Malone couldn't disengage long enough to go get it. Too much of a lead pass by Kelly.
14. Why? You're going to start something with me here? Nobody. He's going back and we got 14. Why? Where's the possession?
Questioning 14 on the shot clock, wanting it recycled here to the 24, and Hollick was about to break out into a laugh, thinking that he would question that with the score being 81 to 56. A.C. Green came to Ivoroni that time with authority.
Ivoroni got along the baseline. That's the way the Lakers play their defense. They filter you to the baseline, count on the out-of-bounds line, acting like an extra defender, and then trying to tuck you underneath the basket so you lay the ball out in front of you, and they just sit there and swat them away. Pat Riley's just done such an absolutely fantastic job ever since he took over this ball club. And one of the outstanding attributes about Pat Riley and his coaching is that he is a listener. He may really get his ball club prepared. Sometimes people say a little bit over-prepared, but boy, he listens to what his players tell him.
He was out here early this morning with a walk through their defensive preparation. Along about 10:30, they asked all the technicians to leave the floor so he could go back through things. And with a count here, 81-58, let's look ahead to next week. A couple of doubleheaders coming your way on CBS. Next Saturday at 1 Eastern time and then Sunday at 1. I wonder where we'll be next Saturday at 1 Eastern time. So great action on Saturday and Sunday. All 4 games will be covered by CBS. Not much of an issue as to who is going to win or lose this particular game. But again, the Jazz trying to establish themselves because the adjustments that are made are so important in a 7-game series.
I don't think that they have even come out of this game, the Utah Jazz, with an idea of what adjustments to make because their normal game has not even come not even close to producing any segment of their normal game.
Tommy, I know that you had an opportunity just to watch kind of on the fly, in and out. But how did you see Chicago's comeback against Cleveland?
Well, I think very important for that ball club that somebody other than Michael Jordan made a significant contribution. And I think Scottie Pippen had something like 24 points. And that's what has to happen for that ball club to really be successful. One of those quick forwards, either Pippen or Sellers or Horace Grant, if he's used at that position, have to really get the job done. Oakley is not a prolific scorer. They need the help from the quick forward.
Let's check that Detroit score now. It's 68-59. Detroit has maintained pretty much of a 10-point lead, at least the times we have checked it. And the winner will take on Chicago. If it's Washington, then Chicago would have the home court advantage in a best-of-7. But if it's Detroit, the Bulls would open up against the Pistons. Interestingly enough, Doug Collins confident that if he plays the Pistons, he might match up pretty well and that he can perhaps go on and play for the Eastern Conference Championship. I think it still remains to be seen if Pippen and Grant and the rest of the players on the team have matured to that point.
The teams practically mirror each other, have great guards, and the centers are outside people. They don't really have a dynamic low-post game, either one. But Michael Jordan is such a devastating player.
Malone. And defensively, it was Green right there into the hands of Trapuka. And he found Malone. Nice pass back by Kelly Trapuka that time, and that's 18 for Malone. Rest assured that the second game will be closer than the first, although I must say the Lakers really look good. Man, that's 17 for Johnson.
And Frank Layden right now is trying to look at his bench to see what shape these guys are in, see if they competitively in this quarter might be able to play in game 2 and help them.
Trapuka misfired. Johnson pushes it down. As the seconds ticking away, he wanted Rambis, and Kurt just couldn't get the handle on it. Perfectly thrown.
That's the first time I've seen his timing off. He threw the ball behind Rambis.
You thought it was behind him?
Yep.
Malone. So he has come on here in the second half.
They're not really challenging him with a tough low post player.
Keeping Malone down on the inside. That's 19 points for Johnson. And we have completed 3. The Lakers 85, the Jazz 62. We'll return to the forum. I'll be the next number up there, and guess why? I will be next to Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain. Well, the reason why, folks, is that number 33
is right there.
Yes, indeed. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hot Rod, one of the funnier people that I played against. He goes back to my years.
Listen, he's one of the funnier people I ever announced with. Terrific guy. Never picked up a check in his life, but still a terrific guy.
Well, that's become a personal challenge right now.
He has 3 lovely daughters, Tommy. One of them is an actress, an aspiring actress in New York. She graduated from NYU. And Byron Scott hits another jump shot. He's played well here today with 16 points. So Ricky Green is out there with Malone and Eaton back. Bailey and Tripucka staying out there to see if he can contribute something in this series. Bad pass back and out of bounds on the turnover. That's 15 turnovers by the Jazz. The Lakers with 14. That up-tempo game sometimes misleading, as it will lead to a lot of turnovers.
Well, they're going to have to look at their offense, in particular the Jazz. Frank Layden's philosophy is that he wants to take 2 inside shots for every outside shot. I wonder what the equation is today, the ratio.
17 points in the third quarter for Malone. So he came alive. They trailed 55-31 at the half. Green penetrates. And as the shot clock sounds, he hits the field goal. Tripucka leads Scott over.
I can see Tripucka is not sharp. His timing way off. He saw that pass, had an eye on it, could have picked it off, but just a half step too slow. And that really comes from inactivity.
It's that field goal, his first of this series.
You know, they might need Kelly Tripucka if they're going to really come into this thing. He's playoff tested. He's been around. He's pretty tough.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I think he's played some good games against the Lakers through the years. He was in Detroit before coming to the Jazz. Worthy on the roll-in.
They just do not have that offensive rebound. Now the flag went up on the mailbox.
93-68.
That one looked more like Fossil Post.
That's right. Cooper's 3.
There's a man now that was a big factor in the success of the Lakers last year, that outside threat. His shooting very much hampered by that ankle injury all season long. They think he's got his mobility back, his lateral movement.
Bailey. He's only scored a couple of field goals here in the second half, total of 19 points. He was the Jazz offense in the first half. Cooper again missing that time. Eaton with a hand, but it winds up in Scott's possession. Kareem wanted the pass, knocked out of bounds by Eaton.
You know, any type of penetration into the Utah defense is going to produce an excellent outside shot.
Well, we've got a timeout, 96-70. Tanner just told me, Tommy, that the Lakers are rubbing salt in Utah's wound, and that's no Jazz. This was over early, folks. 8 first-period points, a record low. And in rebounding, the Lakers with a 38-20 edge.
Well, that has been their big problem, and they've given much too many second-effort baskets to the Lakers, who are quick to convert them. Some of the other teams aren't that the Jazz has played against are not as good at converting offensive rebounds into baskets as the Lakers are.
Tommy, it's going to take a great effort to beat the Lakers in the playoffs. I'm not sure that anyone is capable of beating this team. Got the roll. Abdul-Jabbar. Magic applying a little ice. Remember, he's been playing with that groin problem, and that just takes rest. We'll see Mike Shrek and probably the rest of the bench before long.
Yeah, Ricky Green that time made a great play. Read the defense perfectly to slip the ball to Eaton.
Now here we come. Mike Shrek checks in, and the regulars are going to get a long break in this game. Abdul-Jabbar out with 16 points and 10 rebounds. How's that for a performance by a 41-year-old? I just can't believe that he gets up and down the floor the way he does.
Those are stats right now for the minutes he's played for a guy like 31 years of age, not right. 41. But
Tripucka will sit down. So also Campbell, Tony Campbell, number 19. We have wanted to see him. He played well against San Antonio, and he is a player that you have always had a fondness for.
He is a fast break player, and probably the best coach to utilize Tony Campbell would be Pat Riley in his fast break style.
Smrek's left hand with a miss.
Well, Smrek is going to be a player for this ball club too in another year.
Jump hook by Malone. Bailey, Malone, Eaton, Hansen, and Stockton. The 5 Jazz starters on the floor right now at the 7:56 mark, 98-74. Jazz want something to build on. Worthy on the turnaround. Eaton rebounds, and it'll be a lot easier with the Smreks out there than the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Malone holds it in the air, created that shot, and it's 26 now for Malone.
One thing this game is going to produce is going to get their emotions into it. Usually when you lose as big as this, you get good and mad at yourself. And you say, boy, we just played terribly, and if we just get our game together, we can beat them. And they're going to, that emotion now will swing them into this series.
Here's Smrek again, Tommy, and Riley. Stockton is credited with 14 assists here this afternoon. He broke Isaiah Thomas's assist record in the regular season. He averaged almost 2 more a game. Magic Johnson. This time into the hands of Eaton with that jump hook of his, and Eaton has scored 8 points. Not a big score for the Jazz. Those of you in Salt Lake are certainly aware of that. More of a defensive force.
I think they may have to incorporate Eaton in that low post a little bit more. He's such a big target, and he can turn to the basket with anybody giving him a lot of trouble.
Worthy and Bailey, 2 former ACC stars. That time it was Worthy pulling the trigger, drawing the foul. He'll come up to the free throw line. Both have played on NCAA championship teams in the 80s. So a timeout here in the Forum. 6:42. It's 98-78. Well, I want to make Tommy Heinsohn real happy. There is a Celtic connection to the great success of the Los Angeles Lakers, and it came in the form of Bill Sharman, who ran in the backcourt along with Bob Cousy back in the glory days of the 60s, when then he came out here and became a coach of the Lakers, and he had great success with this team also. And he brought with him the basis of this dreaded fast break, and Tommy, Pat Riley has used it to perfection also.
Well, it's like all good organization and coaches, it's translated from one generation to another. And I want to tell you, he has been right here, this gentleman right here, one of the toughest guys in basketball ever, defensively, offensively, and what a mind for the game. And talk about relating with players. He's probably the only guy that could have gotten a championship with Wilt Chamberlain, because he made Wilt play a different style, blended his talents with other people. Great with working with people, and I think he's had an influence even on Pat Riley.
What a nice man. Going to retire at the end of this year. Now, he has been the general manager. One of the reasons why you don't hear from him publicly
is because he had trouble with his voice box. And, you know, Tommy, I've always thought that year that they won it and he got the great season, he had a thin voice to begin with, but he screamed so much into the crowd, and he never really recovered after that year.
Well, he just told me before the game he's going to have another operation, and I hope that that will help the situation. He has always been a super athlete, loves to play tennis and golf, and he'll keep doing it. That's why he's retiring. He wants to play some golf and tennis.
He's just one of the classiest guys you'll ever meet, and certainly no one likes him any better than Jerry West. And he has learned general manager's lessons well under him. Get it inside now to Bailey. Great block by Schmuck.
You know, he was carrying a little beef around with him, Mike Schmuck, and they got him really trimmed down. Chicago originally drafted Schmuck, and
yeah, and they won without him.
Yep.
107-101. They would play Detroit if the Pistons can hold on against the Washington Bullets. Campbell gives it up in the middle, and it's 79-63. So the Pistons beginning now to pull away. And Malone.
What a shot that was by Malone! A power move. Pat Riley says this man is a power player. Speed, quickness, and skills. There's the fast break, and strong to the hoop by Bailey. But now you watch this rebound because he's up there, a power forward, and then just take a hard blow by Schmuck and still have enough left to put it in.
28 points, and he was scoreless in the first period. At the half, he had only 3 points.
5 out.
And now he has 29. So he has come alive here in the second half of this game.
And that'll get his head into the series so that they feel confident that he can produce in this next ball game. And then they're going to have to play off of his offense. When it's inside and the double teams perhaps happen on Malone, the other people will get free with their outside shots, particularly Bobby Hansen.
Riley is using Magic and Thompson, along with Green, Worthy, and Cooper in this alignment. The Jazz still sticking with their starters. Stockton's 3. Rebound Los Angeles. Green pulls it away now. 5.5 for the game. 183. Los Angeles ahead. They've led it all the way. It's a little bit like winning colors here today. They're going to go wire to wire with this one. Magic traveled.
I love to watch Magic's face. When he starts talking, those eyes stop popping. He gets your attention. And of course, all big guys listen to passes.
Exactly.
What you say, Magic? Whatever you say.
Just give me the ball on the strip. There's a great passer. Bone couldn't put it away. And Eaton has it knocked free and out of bounds, so it'll be Utah ball. You know, there was an editorial up in Salt Lake once suggesting that the Lakers and the Jazz trade nicknames because it said there are no lakes in Los Angeles and no Jazz in Salt Lake. There's a hook shot by Eaton. Yanked away by Thompson.
That was a right-hand hook by Eaton, and he's a natural lefty. That's a tough shot for him.
Knocked free beautifully by Malone. Hansen bringing it back to the Jazz. Cooper back. Green rejected Eaton.
Oh, that was the detour in action.
Boy, he is.
He only has to lean over to stop guys making layups.
Score it. Put it down for Bailey. Let's watch Eaton.
Here's what Mark Eaton is capable of. He detours Magic Johnson. Now with one step, he's back in there, and with his great size, can stop anybody unless they go up and cram it quickly.
Maybe before we're finished here, we'll give you an idea of just what kind of a presence Eaton can be down in the middle defensively. Cooper. 102-85 at the 3:24 mark. Utah will use a timeout. Layden and assistant Jerry Sloan congratulating Malone on coming alive here in the second half. Today he has, look at the blocks he has in his career. Between them, Abdul-Jabbar and Eaton, 5,000 block shots in the NBA. He has 2 more blocks here this afternoon, and he has pulled down 6 rebounds. They could use a little more rebounding out of him, though.
Yeah, he's got to step to the offensive glass a little bit better than he does.
Worthy trying to keep it alive. Great hustle when you're ahead by that margin to go diving on the floor for a loose ball here at the 3:16 mark.
Violation. He had the ball with 1 dribble, went out of bounds, the first to touch it when he come back in.
Okay.
I understood that.
Yes.
One dribble, I thought, before went out of bounds.
Last 3 minutes here in the form. Cooper got a hand on it. Back to Stockton. Hansen misfiring. Worthy is off and into the hands of Magic. Quick pass to Green. Malone rebounding. Now it's Stockton again. Hansen wants it and he fires it up over his head and out of bounds. Well, late in that timeout, Frank was over. Jack had offered a couple of coaching suggestions, and Layden is over there discussing what they might want to do as a duo on Tuesday night.
The witches, he asked him to talk to one of the witches for the next game.
Yeah, maybe sign that one up for prime time. Inside, and Worthy scores it.
Oh, nice pass by Green.
Director Bob Fishman has suggested that we call that one Jack and the Fat Man. I want to give him credit where it's due. Here is Bailey hitting the shot there from the perimeter. He has scored 23 here this afternoon.
Now, what does this game mean to the Lakers? It means that their preparation was really super. Pat Riley had their heads focused, and they came out and were ready to pounce on a team that wasn't quite able to get their act together to face the Lakers. What the Lakers have to do right now is not get too confident. That's what always happens when you come in and beat a team big in the first game. What happens is the psychology normally switches to the other team. They just simply get mad at themselves, and if any complacency is left in the Lakers after this game, they could have troubles in game 2.
Tommy, who do you like as the MVP for the Lakers?
It's got to be Magic, in my opinion.
32.
Looking ahead at the Lakers in Utah, Tuesday night here at the Forum, and then Friday and Sunday they will go. And next Saturday, our schedule. Diane, thank you very much. Doubleheader action will be Washington or Detroit against Chicago at 1 Eastern. That's on Saturday, followed by Denver against Dallas at 3:30 Eastern time. Sunday, still wide open, but we will have a doubleheader at 1 and 3:30. And there's your MVP taking a break. And wasn't that nice of Diane Cannon to ship us this apple?
Well, you didn't get food here. That's why the apple was
Wait a minute.
given to me.
This apple is probably a bomb if I'm sitting next to you.
Okay, you eat it then.
So there it is. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, Mr. Heinsohn, and we appreciate that. Take over here.
Well, there you go. A little munching never hurt anybody.
Campbell gets it on the inside. Back.
Now, that's one part of A.C. Green's game that really has come along. When he first showed up, he was more prone to pass the ball, and Riley's wanted him to shoot the outside shot for 2 seasons. This year, he's been doing it.
Hughes is out there, seeing his first action off the bench. 25. Eddie Hughes at the point. Haley misfiring. And they wrapped up underneath, and Mahalik quickly steps in between Malone and Green. It'll go no further than that.
Well, it shouldn't either in a game like this right now, but the further you go into a playoff series, the more heated the tempers become. All the little things you're used to doing, you're not able to do anymore just for the fact that the familiarity factor comes in and you just get angry.
Mel Turpin back in, Tommy. I want to remind the folks up in Salt Lake. I'm sure the games are already a sellout up there, but Friday night, Salt Palace, game 3, and then on Sunday. Sunday is a 3:30 Eastern start for that game on television. That'll be the second game of our doubleheader on Sunday next week, so that's game 4. Denver and Dallas will start their series Tuesday night at Denver. They'll go Tuesday, Thursday at Denver, and then they go back-to-back in Dallas. They're going to go Saturday and Sunday, according to the early schedule that we have. So that's how the 2 series in the West figured to unfold.
And that may benefit Denver.
So the last minute ticking away here. And the beauty of a 7-game series is that you can make those adjustments and come back, and it doesn't matter if you can win the second one, you're still going to go home with the home court advantage. So that's the positive attitude that the Jazz will affect. It should be pointed out, however, it's going to be no easy task beating the Los Angeles Lakers the rest of the way. This team has the eye of a champion, believe me. Depth, style, skill, everything you want. Tony Campbell now off the bench for his first field goal here this afternoon.
The only thing I think that will stop the Lakers from winning the title is the injury potential. When you have nagging injuries, particularly to a guy like Magic Johnson, there's a very good likelihood that it can flare up. Now, they go through all these stretching exercises and everything else, but as the pressure builds in the playoffs for the next month and a half, that's when you really start to potentially hurt. And I think that's why a lot of us picked Boston over the Lakers.
You picked Boston, I'm sure.
I did.
I'll even that up. I like this team. Our Miller Lite player of the game is Magic Johnson. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, and 4 steals. Miller is proud to present a check for $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Society. I'm Brent Musburger with Tommy Heinsohn, Frank Layden off the floor. Let's go to Pat O'Brien in Studio 43. Take it away.